This is Margaret N. Windsor, Victoria II, legal monarch, not Elizabeth Mountbatten Windsor, or however you want to turn the name around. I want to show this because this involves the Kennedys in the new movie that's coming out, Parkland, any day now, I guess. This is Obama and Caroline, which it's in committee now, her ability to be ambassador to Japan. This is my dad, but her grandfather, Joseph Kennedy, was ambassador to Britain, 36 to 46 when they kicked him out. He helped take down my father illegally with a bunch of lies. He helped kidnap me in 41 with my uncle George VI, illegal monarch brother. My uncle helped kidnap me and take down my dad. Sold out to the Americans. As did Elizabeth. She's illegal monarch. So's George to be, let me say Charles and then William. And baby George was named after the great-grandfather that helped kidnap me and take down and sell out the British Empire. Sun used to never set. Now then, where have the colonies gone? Kenya, where the Israelis went in, and the Kenyan forces trained by the United States military. Rhodesia's gone. Had a name change. I can go on and on. What's left of the British? Except to fight for the Americans and the monarchs that's over here being tortured and laughed about. Can't say that. Can't say laughed, even though that's what they've done. The movie coming out about Parkland, I want to say this. I was brought over in 41, kidnapped, given the name of Peggy Dempsey Childers, a twin that was dead. Childers is a married name. The twins were dead. I grew up in a pigsty. There's no other word for it in Moulton, Alabama. Let me remind you that in early 50s, 40 miles away, is when Huntsville, Alabama began to boom with NASA space program, Redstone Arsenal Command Center, Marshall Islands, all this came out of there. So much power there. Now, isn't that ironic that I was taken there in 41 and all this begins to happen? And also what happened earlier than that, but they say in 53 it started, the MK Ultra mind control, Monarch and mind control programs. Now, that goes back to the early 30s and Tesla. So the information was stolen from Tesla, and the FBI ended up with it. So you can use mind control to program, make a person have a heart attack, suicide. It's not proven in a tox or a screen or an autopsy. Or program someone to go and shoot like they did John Lennon, Mark David Chapman. Goes on and on to the Aurora and Tucson and Columbine, but it goes way back. If I weren't telling about the patterns involved in the mind control murders I know of, then how would you know? But nobody cared. They didn't want to hear it. They really didn't. They didn't want to hear any of this. Okay, I want to get back to the Kennedys in the movie that's coming out, Parkland, in Dallas, where he was taken when he was shot. People think it's so terrible that this man who was mafia, his father, they helped kidnap me, they stole from the British, killed, Marilyn Monroe, Chappaquiddick, all of it, they mourn still. And yet what they've done to me on a daily basis, everybody found fun to do it to me. They were able to do it to me. When I put before them what was being done to me and who I am, and they couldn't say it was a lie, they treated me like I was the offending person, offending them. Now then, before I lose it, your train of thought here, and I'm going to quit because it gets too long, and, right now I don't feel like, I'm not feeling too good myself. I'm only 74 and a half. And I laugh because it's so ludicrous and hideous that it's been allowed to happen. I'll say this. My husband was CIA. I found that out later. When I had my two sons, Mark and Scott, who are heir after me, I went to a psychiatrist in Huntsville, Alabama. He was a Jew from New York. His wife was a German Jew. Went for slight depression. Ended up getting put in a hospital, if you call it a hospital, when you put you away somewhere like that. That's kidnapping and torture if it was done to anybody else but me. I got daily shock. Everybody should see it, know how you feel, what they're doing to your brain. But John Kennedy, hey, they loved him. Later, through the years, from 62 to maybe 66, I can't remember the exact dates, I was taken into Hyman Miller's office, psychiatrist, Jew. The Bergs were married, and Dr. Berg, was an anesthesiologist, and she came over and in other words, she put me to sleep. Now, you got two Jews working on me. Oh, man, I wish the world could see it. What it does to you and your family and everything, and to your brain. I want to bring in Victor Gonzalez here, because he was a psychiatrist out at Redstone Arsenal, and he was supposed to be a child psychiatrist who came in about that time. He had been in Parkland interning in Dallas when John Kennedy was taken in. So I'll leave you to connect. I ended up moving with my husband and my kids to Atlanta, Georgia in about 67. My husband takes me to Victor Gonzalez, who's moved ahead of me over there to Atlanta and set up practice from Redstone Arsenal to Atlanta. My husband takes me to him at Lenox Square, the Twin Tower there, buildings, where for 7 years I was tortured. There's no words to say what happened to me. Psychotic drugs given me, like Hyman Miller. It was diagnosis murder. They diagnosed me and gave me illegal psychotic drugs for a non-existent illness. My life was shredded upside down in my children's. In 75, the end of 75 is when it was, former District Attorney Eugene Kaiser from Fulton County, Atlanta, filed a medical malpractice against Gonzalez. And at that time, he was working for, on Cliff Valley Way, and I'm going to forget, so I guess I'll have to, Parkwood. Parkwood and Parkland are corporation or hospitals, or they were then anyway, and a lot of them grew out of that, just like Louis Gale here or Hospital Corporation of America. They're huge corporations. So he's in Atlanta working for just another one of their hospitals, a psych private. So the psychotic drugs that you can't tell how you felt. I should never have had one of them. Misdiagnosed, what it does to a background check, what it does to your family. Anyway, a gag order was put on it for $28,000, which was halved with the attorney, which, by the way, I liked the attorney. So there's a long story that connects the mess. Gag order been put on my father's supposedly abdication, and an imposter married Wallace Simpson, so all that was covered up with a gag and a 99-year seal. Here we've got one on this. Involved in that, though, was also the fact of how I knew mind control murders were being used. Uh, People were being programmed to go out and shoot and kill. I also worked for doctors and knew how they put bypass in a chip in your heart bypasses. They can control your decision making, make you go jump off a cliff, commit suicide. How do you prove it? It's not in an autopsy. It doesn't show up. Or like the Sandy Hook, or the Tucson, Arizona shootings, or the Navy Yard shooting, or Doran, the ex-cop out in Los Angeles. There's a whole list of it. And by the way, Martin Luther King, Mrs. King, Andrew Young, all of these civil rights leaders knew it. They hooked up with the Kennedys. So my point, I guess, I'm going to stop on this and just leave it at this, because I'm not, I've lived a hell of a life, and I still am. The Parkland movie's coming out. I hope it's the beginning of telling the truth about this, and most of all showing who the Americans are. I would like justice, except God, half of them are dead. Only God can hand it down. And I guess before I leave this out, I want to ask everybody whether they believe in God or not. What part of the Ten Commandments did you not believe in, or see or notice? I was flown out to Flint's in '83, October, twice to his home. I was in a political campaign. One of the doctors I'd written about, Larry A. McDonald, congressman, urologist from Atlanta, and involved in the mind control. His plane had gone down into the ocean, the Korean 007 JAL. All aboard were supposed to have been killed, shot down by a Russian MiG. Larry Flint, I don't know really if that was the real Larry Flint, because I was told that the real Larry Flint was blown all over with a Magnum along with his attorney and killed there in Lawrenceville in '78 while I was doing the book. So who's sitting out there, I don't know, that I met. I thought it was Larry Flint. By the way, Althea, his wife, died weird. He didn't kill her. Mind controlled her. She drowned in a little bitty bathtub. As far as I know, these two are more decent than, and I shouldn't even have to say that. It's not their, I don't like pornography, but neither do I like the New World Order, the Obamas, Elizabeth, the crooks, the attorneys, the killers that get away with it by circumventing the law. The Hyman Millers, the Jews, the blacks that got into it. They're the disgusting people, really. Not many Jack Hartsfields are there that saved my life.